Welcome to our channel. Today, we're uncovering the story behind American Lincoln Memorial pennies, small coins with big history and hidden surprises. These pennies have been in pockets and collections for decades, but many don't know their fascinating secrets. Stick around as we reveal what makes these coins truly special. Imagine a coin so ordinary that millions passed it by. A single cent, tossed into jars, slipped through fingers, ignored at counters. A penny minted in 1972, stamped with a tiny D just below the date. One of over 2 billion made at the Denver Mint that year. And yet, one version of that coin hides something rare, almost mythical. A tiny mistake. A flaw so subtle, most eyes missed it. But not collectors. Not the experts. Because that small mistake turned a copper coin into a fortune. Our story begins in the early 1970s. America was changing fast. The Vietnam War was dragging on, the economy was under pressure, and inflation was on the rise. The U.S. Mint, like the rest of the country, was working overtime. Millions of coins were needed for everyday use. Pennies especially. The Lincoln cent, first minted in 1909, had become a staple of American life. Its design was familiar, Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back since 1959. But even with this consistency, strange things sometimes happened. In Denver, a minting error occurred during the creation of the dies, the metal tools used to stamp each penny. It happened when a working die received a second impression from the hub, but that second impression was misaligned. The result was what's known as a doubled die. This wasn't just a faint shadow or blur. This was bold, unmistakable doubling, on the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1972 itself. That coin, the 1972 D doubled die obverse penny, was born. But most people didn't notice. These errors slipped into circulation, buried among the billions of normal pennies. It took sharp-eyed collectors to spot the difference. Slowly, word spread. This wasn't just another penny. It was something special. Something valuable. The coin's design remained otherwise unchanged. A diameter of 19 millimeters. A weight of 3.11 grams. A smooth, copper glow, 95% copper, 5% zinc. The familiar portrait of Lincoln gazing right, the Lincoln Memorial behind him. But that doubling made all the difference. Not every 1972 D penny has this error. Most are completely ordinary, worth just a cent. But those few, those precious few with the double die obverse, began to rise in value. At first, they fetched a few dollars. Then a few hundred. Then thousands. The collector market took notice. Grading services certified the error, assigning premium values to coins in better condition. The more pristine the penny, the more shocking the price. Collectors began scouring their change jars, buying penny rolls from the bank, examining each coin under magnification. Some found nothing. Others found history. Even damaged examples of the 1972 D double die began selling for hundreds. Mint state versions, coins with no wear at all, sold for thousands. But the highest grades? The flawless ones? Those were in a league of their own. As time passed, fewer and fewer of these rare coins remained. Some were lost. Some were spent, worn down, unrecognizable. But a select few survived, tucked away in collections, preserved by chance or wisdom. And among them, the finest examples gained legendary status. There are many error coins out there. Some have off-center strikes, some are misprinted, some are struck on the wrong metal. But few are as visually stunning and unmistakable as the 1972 D double die. It's not an error you need training to spot. It practically shouts from the face of the coin, if you know what to look for. The bold doubling on the inscriptions isn't just dramatic, it's valuable. Because it means the coin is rare. Scarce. Desired. And in numismatics, rarity plus demand equals worth. Let's fast forward to today. The humble penny has mostly faded from daily use. Many people don't even bend down to pick one up. But among collectors, the hunt is still alive. And this particular penny, this 1972 D-era, is one of the most prized. Recently, in a major numismatic auction, a single example of this penny sold. Not just any example. A nearly perfect one. Brilliant, mint state, encapsulated by professional graders, authenticated and appraised. And when the hammer fell, when the final bid was placed, this tiny, 1-cent coin realized something truly remarkable. $78,000. Yes, a penny. Just 1 cent in face value. But because of a tiny flaw, a historic accident, and a whole lot of collector passion, it's now worth $78,000. So check your change. Look closely at those copper coins hiding in drawers and jars. You never know what treasure might be staring right back at you. Next up. A penny. Just 1 cent. The smallest coin in American currency. Often ignored, tossed in jars, left behind at counters. But what if one of those pennies, just one, was worth $70,000? Somewhere in your change, an old drawer, or a forgotten piggy bank, a tiny copper coin might be hiding a big secret. Let's go back to 1984. Ronald Reagan was president. The Cold War was still on. Gas was about $1 a gallon. That year, the US Mint was running non-stop. Billions of pennies were produced, over 9.8 billion in total. At the Denver Mint alone, more than 5.5 billion Lincoln cents were made. They were everywhere, stores, pockets, schools. Spent and forgotten like any other coin, but hidden among those billions, something unusual slipped through. Something rare. Something valuable. The Lincoln cent had already been a fixture of U.S. currency since 1909, honoring Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. The original design showed his portrait on the front, with wheat ears on the back. In 1959, to mark 150 years since his birth, the reverse was changed to show the Lincoln Memorial. That design remained in place until 2008. In 1984, the design was unchanged. On the front was Lincoln's right-facing profile, with "In God We Trust" at the top, Liberty on the left, and the date, 1984, on the right. Below the date, a small D marked the Denver Mint. The reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial, with "United States of America" above, 1 cent below, and "E Pluribus Unum" in the center. A very ordinary coin. Or so it seemed. But that year, a minting error occurred. It wasn't a worn die or a strike-through. It was something far more interesting, a doubled die. And not just any kind. This one affected Lincoln's face. Specifically, his ear. The 1984 D doubled ear penny shows a second, clearly visible earlobe behind the first. It looks like Lincoln has 2 ears on one side of his head. And this doubling wasn't caused by damage or wear, it was part of the die itself. A true mint error, created during the hubbing process when the die shifted slightly between impressions. Every coin struck by that die had the same doubled feature. It's bold. Obvious. And unmistakable once you've seen it. But the error wasn't caught right away. These coins entered circulation like any other. And because most people never look closely at pennies, they went unnoticed for years. Eventually, collectors began to find them, sometimes in coin rolls, sometimes in loose change. And once the variety was recognized, it started showing up in coin shows and grading submissions. The value of any coin depends on rarity and condition. And the 1984 D doubled ear penny is rare. No one knows how many were made, but only a limited number are known today. Even fewer exist in excellent condition. Collectors began submitting them to grading services. Coins were graded on a 70-point scale. A coin in MS 63 is in good mint state, but a coin in MS 67 or higher. That's exceptional, nearly flawless. Even well-worn examples of this coin have sold for hundreds of dollars. Mid-grade uncirculated versions can fetch thousands. But in top condition, the value climbs fast. One of the finest known examples, a brilliant, mint-state 1984 D penny with a perfectly visible doubled ear, was placed in a major auction. It was certified, slabbed, and authenticated. Collectors took notice. Bidding began. The coin was stunning. Clean strike, rich copper color, no wear. When the final bid came in, it shocked even seasoned collectors. That 1-cent coin sold for $70,000. A penny. Just one. But because of a rare minting mistake, and because it survived in incredible condition, it became a small treasure. This isn't just about the money. It's about the thrill of discovery. The idea that a simple coin, one you might pass over without a second thought, could be something extraordinary. That a minor shift in a minting process decades ago could turn a common coin into a collector's dream. So what should you do? Look closely. Pull out those old jars of change. Grab a magnifying glass. Check your 1984 D pennies. Focus on Lincoln's ear. If you see a shadow or a second lobe behind it, you might be holding something rare. And if it's in great condition, it could be worth a lot more than 1 cent. Even today, these coins are still out there. Waiting to be found. Lost in old coffee cans, sock drawers, or inherited collections. You don't need to be a professional to spot one. All it takes is a little curiosity and a good eye. Because among the billions of ordinary coins made in 1984, a few were different. One tiny flaw turned them into something special. One small mistake became a collector's prize. And that prize? It could be worth up to $70,000. The next time you're handed change, don't ignore the pennies. Look at them. One of them might just be the rarest coin in your collection. Or the most valuable. Moving to the next, we're now on our third penny of the day, a coin that looks simple but tells an extraordinary story. The 1991 1-cent D penny. Just another copper-colored coin from the Denver Mint, or is it? At first glance, it looks like millions of others. The familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln faces right. In God we trust, arches above him, liberty rests to the left, and to the right, the year, 1991. Just below the date, a tiny D, marking its origin at the Denver Mint. Flip it over and you see the Lincoln Memorial, crisp and detailed, surrounded by the words, United States of America, and 1 cent. You've seen this coin countless times, but this one hides a secret. What makes this penny so special isn't obvious. It's a subtle but striking minting error, a double die on the obverse, or front side, of the coin. This means that during the minting process, the die that strikes the coin was accidentally impressed twice, but slightly misaligned. The result? A doubling effect you can see on parts of the design, especially the inscriptions. Look carefully at Liberty. Notice the shadow-like second image just behind the letters. Take a close look at the date, 1991, and, In God We Trust. That doubling is unmistakable and is not caused by wear or damage. It's part of the coin itself, permanently etched in during production. This kind of error is rare, and for collectors, it's pure gold. In 1991, the Denver Mint struck over 4 billion pennies, but only a tiny fraction carry this doubling. That rarity makes these coins highly sought after. And among those that survive, condition is key. The better preserved the coin, the clearer the doubling and the brighter the copper color, the more valuable it becomes. Over the years, these coins have been found in all sorts of places, forgotten in coin jars, discovered in rolls, or handed down through families. Each find adds excitement to the community of collectors who search for such unique pieces. As awareness grew, collectors began having their pennies professionally graded to confirm the error and assess their condition. The grading system goes from 1 to 70. A higher number means the coin is closer to perfect, with fewer marks and better details. Even circulated examples with clear doubling can fetch a few $100s. Uncirculated coins, with no wear and strong red luster, quickly climb into the thousands, But here's the jaw-dropping fact: the highest quality 1991 D double die pennies have been valued at as much as $63,000. Yes, $63,000. For a penny. A coin that you could have walked past hundreds of times without noticing. It's amazing to think that something so small, so common in appearance, can hold such incredible value. It's a reminder that rarity and history often hide in the smallest details. What's even more thrilling is knowing these coins still exist today. Many are still out there, waiting to be found, in old collections, jars of loose change, or even still circulating quietly in wallets. So, the next time you dig through your pennies, don't rush. Take a moment. Look closely at any 1991 D pennies you come across. Shine a light on them and study the lettering on the front. If you see clear doubling in Liberty, the date, or In God We Trust, you might be holding a rare treasure. And if the coin is in great condition, bright copper color, sharp details, and no signs of wear, it could be worth far more than a cent. It could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. This coin is proof that even the smallest, most everyday objects can carry incredible stories and value. It's a perfect example of how a tiny imperfection, one small mistake during the minting process, can turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. Collectors often say that finding one of these coins feels like uncovering a secret. It connects us to history, to the minting process, and to a moment frozen in time when something unexpected slipped through the cracks. It's a reminder that in a world filled with mass production, true uniqueness still exists. What's fascinating is the excitement this penny creates. It's not just about money, it's about discovery, about the thrill of spotting a detail no one else sees. For many, it sparks a deeper interest in coins, history, and the stories behind everyday objects. It's a gateway to a world that's easy to overlook but incredibly rich once you look closer. So remember, treasure isn't always gold or jewels. Sometimes, it's just a penny. The 1991 D double die penny. Once just 1 cent. Now valued at $63,000. And it could be in your pocket right now. Moving on to today's final coin, let's talk about something that looks like it slipped through the cracks, a 2000 USA 1 cent penny with no mint mark. You might be wondering why that's such a big deal. After all, pennies from the year 2000 are everywhere, right? But this particular penny holds a story that collectors can't stop talking about. Normally, pennies minted in 2000 carry a tiny P mint mark for Philadelphia or a D for Denver, stamped right near the date. It's like a little signature showing where the coin was made. But this penny? It has no mint mark at all. No P. No D. Just the date, plain and simple. That absence is rare, and it's what makes this coin so interesting. To understand why this is unusual, we need to take a quick look back at the history of mint marks. The U.S. Mint has used these tiny letters for decades, a way to identify the coin's birthplace. For pennies, Philadelphia coins traditionally didn't have a mint mark before 1980, but starting in the early 1980s, the P became standard on pennies from Philadelphia. Denver pennies always had the D. So by the year 2000, it was almost impossible to find a Philadelphia penny without that mark. So how did a no-mint mark penny end up from the year 2000? The short answer: it's believed to be an error from the Philadelphia Mint. Somewhere along the line, the coin was struck without the die that stamps the mint mark. These errors are extremely rare because the mint's process is usually very precise and well monitored. Finding one of these no-mint mark 2000 pennies is like discovering a misprint in a massive book, something that should have never made it out but somehow did. Most of these coins were caught early and removed, but a few slipped into circulation. Since they are so scarce, collectors prize them highly. What makes this coin even more special is its connection to the transition between old and new minting practices. The year 2000 marked the start of the new millennium, and the mint was using updated equipment and procedures. Errors like this one remind us that even the most advanced systems are still operated by humans, and mistakes, however rare, can happen. Collectors value this penny not just for its rarity but for its story, a tangible piece of minting history. When grading these coins, experts look closely at the details, the sharpness of the date, the absence of the mint mark, and the coin's overall condition. A well-preserved no-mint mark 2000 penny can command significant attention. The coin's appeal goes beyond just its physical characteristics. It symbolizes the unpredictability of minting and the fascinating quirks that occur during production. Each penny tells a unique story about the people and technology behind it, how a slight slip or misstep can create something extraordinary. Now, you might be wondering just how much this rare penny is worth. While most pennies from the year 2000 are worth just their face value, this particular error coin stands apart. Its rarity and the demand among collectors push its value far above what you'd expect. In fact, the current estimated value for a pristine 2001 cent penny with no mint mark is an impressive $32,000. Yes, $32,000 for a penny that looks like any other, except for the missing mint mark. It's a remarkable reminder that sometimes, the smallest details can hold the greatest value. This coin captures the imagination of collectors and history buffs alike. It's a bridge between everyday life and the fascinating, often hidden world of minting errors and collectibles. It challenges us to look closer, to appreciate the unexpected, and to find value where most would see only a simple coin. For many, finding this coin sparks a lifelong passion for numismatics, the study and collection of coins. It opens a door into history, technology, and art, all wrapped up in a piece of copper just under a quarter of an inch wide. The excitement of discovery is a big part of what drives collectors to keep searching, hoping to find that one rare piece that changes everything. So, if you ever find yourself sorting through coins, especially from the year 2000, keep an eye out for this unique penny. Look carefully near the date to see if there's a mint mark. If you don't see one, you might just be holding a rare piece of American minting history, and a potential treasure worth thousands. This coin is a perfect example of how errors, often overlooked or dismissed as flaws, can turn into prized collectibles. It's a testament to the unexpected stories that everyday objects can tell when we take the time to look closer. The 2000 no mint mark penny is more than just change, it's a connection to the past, a rare gem in a sea of ordinary coins, and a fascinating chapter in the ongoing story of American coinage. So keep your eyes sharp and your curiosity alive, because sometimes, treasure is just a penny away. If you enjoyed learning about this amazing penny and want to see more fascinating coin stories, don't forget to like this video, drop a comment below with your thoughts or any questions, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. Also, be sure to share this video with your friends who love coins or collectibles. Your support means a lot and helps us bring you even more exciting content.